And we're back with game number 6 in the Couch Cup mini-series, which is a best of 7 between Gummibaer Gruen and Food Please on Nomad. And this has been a pretty amazing series, and already in the 6th game we have some villager fighting and a pig gets slaughtered in this mess in the early game. Now, Food Please over here in red already dropping his TC. Close to the shoreline, but he has some nice access to food over here, whereas Gummibaer Gruen on the other side also dropping his TC very close to the TC of Food Please. Now let's look at the fog of war a little bit. So Food Please doesn't know yet where Gummibaer Gruen is, whereas Gummibaer also doesn't know where Food Please is. But I think this will change very, very soon, and we'll see some crazy aggression as we always see in these kind of games. Let's look at the civilizations. So we have Hans for Food Please. So he has to remember that he does not, he's not able to build a dock right now. So he's also not doing that, but instead he's going for another will fight. And Gummibaer should really try to get this TC up. Maybe should try to wall in his villagers, because now Food Please can take these pigs and kill the pigs or steal the pigs. And that's a pretty big mistake, I think, from Gummibaer to allow this aggression from Food Please. Now, as in terms of civilizations, Gummibaer Gruen going for or having the Berbers. The Berbers have faster villagers, so it would be easier or very easy to chase down this villager of Food Please, and that's exactly what Gummibaer is doing. So I like this move by him to go for this aggressive move, take out this villager. Oh no, why are you stopping? No! Oh, Gummibaer, this could have been an easy villager pick. And Food Please, being the relentless aggressor that he is, can just now go back and start with the laming. Because if we look at the fog of war of Food Please, he should know that, or he does know that Gummibaer is over here. And now he can... Okay, he tries to wall the villager in to maybe take this boar. I'm not sure why he thinks that's a good idea. Because this boar is also really far away from Gummibaer, and I think that Food Please would be better off to do something else. Because remember, Huns, while they're pretty strong because they don't have to build houses, in this particular game mode it's quite difficult for them because they cannot build a dock. And now, okay, now he gets the boar in, so he's safe for now. But Gummibaer does have the advantage of having this dock over here, so he will be able to create fishing ships quite early on. Food Please now wants to drop his dock already. I'm not sure if the timing is perfect here, because he has no villagers on wood. So while he will be able to drop this dock, he won't be able to create any fishing ships. And he could have easily just placed it close to his TC over here, which might have been more preferable at this point. Yes, so now he finally did what he wanted to do, walling in his villager and killing off this boar. But I think that's a lot of resources spent on not too much return, to be honest. And I think he was quite lucky that the boar did not attack diagonally, because that's something that happens in DE sometimes, that there's diagonal attacks and you lose your villager anyways. Now let's see what the players are up to. Let's look at the different scores here. So Gummibaer now having a slight villager lead, and I think this is especially due to the fishing ships that he does have. So he is able to produce from the dock already, and at the same time he's able to produce from the TC. And now what we see is the typical Food Please behavior, so he's walling in. And remember, this is the villager that Gummibaer could have easily picked off. His villagers are faster, so he can just pick off this villager. Now he lets himself get walled in by a very weak villager by Food Please over here. And the same is what's happening over here. So again, he should just fight this. There is no reason not to. I mean, it will at least force Food Please to pull more villagers, and now he should get out of there. And remember, he has the faster villagers, so it would be no problem for him. Let's look at the economy again. So still Gummibaer having a slight advantage. And now we see what I've talked about earlier about the dock. I mean, he does have to dock, but he does not have any fishing ships so far. So I think the timing wasn't perfect there. He should have maybe delayed the dock a little bit and went for it later on. And maybe also he should have done it over here maybe. Or even maybe next to the berries, because you can kind of use the dock as a drop-off point for the berries if you retask your villages and then click the dock afterwards. Now Gummibaer needs to be careful. He's running into the TC fire. Okay, he is fine it seems. But yeah, he has to prevent this wall off. And look at all of those idle villagers from Food Please. And Gummibaer could do so by putting down his own walls over here. So just place a few houses here, and now Food Please really going forward with 7 villagers, so that's way too much. He still has a weak villager over here doing this kind of weird walling in thing. So, to be honest, there's actually no reason that Gummibaer should lose at this point, because there's a lot of idle time by Food Please, and really he has not achieved too much with the wall in so far. He can just safely boom on water. I mean, look at this, he has 6 fishing ships against the 2 fishing ships over here. He has a 4 villager advantage at this point. He has the faster villages as well, so he could just also chase the enemy villages down. If he micros this correctly, Food Please is really caught off guard here, I would say. If Gummibaer micros nicely, he can just kill 2 or 3 villages here, because yes, but he doesn't chase the weak ones. This one is weak, he has to chase it, he has to just retreat with this one, and you see that the red villagers can never catch him, because the green villagers are just that much faster. I mean, it's only 10%, but 10% is enough. And now, oh, one villager attacked the boar. The boar is trying to get to... Okay, yeah, here it is. And maybe Gummibaer can block the boar, maybe? It's not quite enough. And so Food Please will actually get the boar. And now you see that Gummibaer, or Food Please does get the boar, and Gummibaer has a lot of idols over here. So he did pull too many villagers, I think. Or if he pulled that many, he should have made sure that he killed more of Food Please's villages. Still 6 fishing ships over here against 3 over here, but it's still a solid 4 villager lead for Gummibaer. So I really like his position, and he also made sure that the wall in, at least on this side, was not completed. But now look at this. There's still this weak villager that Gummibaer should have just killed in the beginning, and surely he has to notice that this is going on, and yes, he notices it, and now he should just kill it. I mean, he's faster, he can just do it. One more strike, and it will be done. Finally it's done. And again, Food Please coming forward with his villagers. Now, Gummibaer should do a little bit more villager micro. He should send the weak ones back, because he has enough going forward, and he should split up his villagers to attack both of these red villages over here. And now he can just chase endlessly, because villagers are faster. He can just attack them and kill them eventually, because as you see, the red villager takes the long way around. So I actually, at this point, even though the score is in favor of Food Please, I like the position of Gummibaer. I mean, he has a villager advantage, although it's shrinking a little bit, and that's probably due to him doing a little bit too much villager fighting over here. But now he's able to kill this villager, I think, maybe. Oh, it's 3 more hits, 2 more hits. Each of them gets 1 more hit. Oh, it will be another villager down. But still, look at this, there's still 1 more. Why does he not chase them? Why does he not chase all of them until they're dead? And now Gummibaer will get walled in again. But he did escape over here. It's still open over here, but another villager of Food Please is coming forward. And surprisingly, even though Food Please lost a few villagers, Gummibaer, or the villager gap has narrowed from 4 to 3. And that's just negligence on behalf of Gummibaer. I mean, and yeah, he's getting walled in anyways. You just have to follow those villagers, especially if you're the Berbers. You can just follow them and kill them. They cannot escape your villagers, and now this wall-off does not make too much sense. I mean, if Hooplease wants to, he can just delete his own palisades, and then yeah, it's open. So I think that's a lot of lost villager time over here. Now, both players still in Dark Age, but Foodplease going up to Feudal Age first. So that will mean that Gummibaer can gain an advantage in terms of villages, but he will be up to Feudal Age later on. And we all know that Foodplease always goes for towers. And if you look at those villagers, I mean, it's pretty obvious that they're gonna drop a tower on Gummibaer. And now they're even more will fighting. I hope Gummibaer realizes this and he can just escape. Just use the civ advantage and just escape with the villagers. Foodplease has idled his all of these villagers for a long time, so it's already an advantage for Gummibaer. He just has to leave with these villagers and everything is fine. Okay, now coming forward with the watchtower, which does not accomplish too much, to be honest. And Gummibaer is wisely walling behind this. So, yeah, I'm not sure if this does too much, except that this villager is now left out of the game. So he has to run the long way around. I'm not sure if he's ever going back, because remember that Foodplease also walled over here. And now we're coming back to one of the important points that we've talked about throughout the series, and that is scouting. Now, Foodplease basically knows everything, to be honest. So he has watchtowers, he has outposts, and he has another watchtower here. So he can, or his outpost, so he can build another watchtower here. So he has a lot of vision, whereas Gummibaer, I mean, yes, he knows his own base, but he doesn't have too much vision outside, and also not about what his opponent is doing. And that already puts him into this defensive mindset. And I'm not sure if I like this tower, because it does not counter this tower, it does not counter this tower. I think it would have been better to put it over here to counter this tower. I mean, there's only one villager building it, so you can just shoot it down. And it's very close to the TC, and now it's also not able to deny this tower over here. I think, well, might be just no. I don't think it's just in range of these villagers. So he's getting a few pickoffs here, but he can easily do that with the TC. So this tower is not accomplishing too much, and now his wood line is denied. He has to vacate the wood line, go over here, and the villager gap is narrowing again. It's 36 against 32. Now, the topic also of the series was naval battles. So far, both players are pretty content at battling on land. So far, no real water aggression going on over here. Again, some messy will fighting. I think Gummibaer should try to, kill the villagers. Don't leave them on low HP, because that doesn't accomplish too much. Just kill the villagers. And I feel like he's overcommitting here. I mean, it's like 16 units that he has trying to batter down this one tower that he could have prevented by placing his own tower in a better position. And now he can just leave a few villagers or the men-at-arms over here. Yeah, and even the TC can shoot this tower, it seems. So it's really not a great tower, but he overcommitted. So Gummibaer had to commit a lot of units against this tower while it wasn't accomplishing too much. At the same time, this tower is still over here. Another tower is being built by this lone villager, which is the same one that I think Gummibaer did not kill because he did not chase it. And that's a recurring theme in this series. Now this watchtower might get better down if Gummibaer does the right thing. He needs to do a little bit of villager micro. Yes, kill this villager, and he should also kill the other villagers easily. I mean, he has a big advantage over here, and then he might be able to kill this watchtower. But Foodplease pulling more villagers from his TC. I mean, he has no farms, he has barely any economy. All food income he has is basically these few fishing ships over there. So yeah, at the same time, idle fishing ships over here. No fire galley from Gummibaer. And yeah, Gummibaer still has the villager advantage. Oh, this is bad, but he will lose more villagers over here. The wood line is completely denied. And yes, this villager, this lone pesky villager, or it is a new one, I think, but it's very pesky, and it places another watchtower on the outside of Gummibaer's base. And yeah, even those two men-at-arms, I mean, they are not strong enough to fight all of these villagers, especially underneath the tower. So this watchtower is still up. And yeah, this watchtower not accomplishing too much. I mean, he could have placed it here on the wood line to deny this tower and deny this tower. Oh, and there's the weak villager that was building all of these towers. Now, luckily for Gummibaer, Food Police has a lot of idols. So if you look at this, 17 idols, or now 14 idols. So Gummibaer only having a small villager lead, but in terms of efficiency, his economy is or was much more efficient, but now also up to a lot of idols. And that's also because he doesn't have this wood line anymore. This wood line has been denied. He's still trying to batter down this tower, but he won't be able to, because there's already another palisade behind. And yeah, this does not achieve too much. I mean, he could have also placed it here to deny the opponent's wood line. I mean, just place it here, deny this wood line, deny this tower. So yeah, he will lose another villager, and doesn't look good for Gummibaer, even though he should have had a big advantage. I mean, Food Police idling all of his villagers. Yeah. And now this is also a move I don't quite understand. I mean, there were a lot of berries left and even some pigs, but Gummibaer decided to build a new mill to get those berries. So it's kind of questionable. He could have finished those berries and then built the mill over here. But nothing too bad, to be honest. Now Gummibaer, yeah, trickling out the man-at-arms. I'm not sure if this is a great move. I mean, I don't think they will accomplish too much, because the towers are actually quite decent against the men-at-arms, and there's a lot of enemy towers. So 2 towers here, 1 tower here, and this tower, which might be better down finally, but I think there's a bugged out villager inside of the tower or inside of the palisade repairing the tower, so I don't think it will go down. Now the men-at-arms are out. I mean, it helps to have men-at-arms because you don't need to micro them so extensively as you need with the villagers. And now those villagers, they're still trying to batter it down, but yeah, it's getting repaired, so you won't get this tower down. Better would have been to place a counter tower in range of this tower to get it down. Let's look at the villager numbers. So Food Police down to 25 villagers against the 33. So actually, yeah, Food Police not being very efficient with this, losing another villager over here, will probably lose another one over here, and maybe this one will also get taken out by these men-at-arms. But yeah, this tower shooting and shooting and shooting, and so Food Police also getting a lot of pickoffs. Now Food Police down to 23 villages, so a commanding lead for Gummibaer. Again, Gummibaer should have this. I mean, you look at this all-out aggression of Food Police. It's nice. It's putting a lot of pressure on the opponent, but it's actually putting Food Police behind. Now we have these 3 men-at-arms that are taking out another villager, and now they're getting attacked by a tower, but the tower is finally battered down, and now these men-at-arms should attack the enemy villagers. Now there's still some high villagers of Gummibaer over here, walling by Food Police, and look at this. I think the brunt of the assault has been stopped. Maybe another villager going down. This one might also go down. And now Gummibaer in a commanding lead, to be honest. 32 against 22 villagers, but of course 10 of those are idle. So in terms of working villagers, it's almost the same. But the problem is that there are still these pesky towers over here and over here. So the wood line, another villager going down on the wood line. So this wood line is a disaster. So Gummibaer keeps sending villagers onto the wood line, but they're just getting shot down, and this villager will also get picked off. And this woodline is the same. It's also a disaster. I mean, there's one villager working over here. And look at this, another villager coming out, going to the woodline, getting shot by the watchtowers again until it's dead. But at the same time, Food Police also losing villagers, so it's kind of even. Both players losing villagers left and right. And I think the big problem for Gummibaer is actually wood. I mean, he's not collecting wood, he's collecting wood with one villager. I mean, this one, yes, but this one will just get shot down. And he has placed these mills all over the place. Another mill here, this mill, which we already talked about, idling all of his fishing ships, so he should try to get them working again. He built another dock, but I don't like this dock position, to be honest. He should have placed it more over here, because the fish are already gone. Or maybe even on this side, because it's far away from his opponent, and there's still a lot of deep sea fish left. Now let's go back to the action. I mean, now some militia from Food Please against the man-at-arms of Gummibaer and another tower. And that's the problem with the man-at-arms. They're just getting shot down by the towers. And yeah, again, another... I don't like all of these mills. I think that wood is really a priority. Maybe should have placed a lumber camp somewhere else to get at least some access to wood. Because look at this disaster! Another villager getting picked off by these towers. Gummibaer not reacting at all, still having the gather point of his TC at the woodline. Now the militia are getting cleaned up, but also the men-at-arms are getting cleaned up. And he's still producing men-at-arms. I don't like that too much. I think he's overcommitting. And now let's look at the villager number. It's now almost even again. And I think that's because of this disaster woodline over here. Why not set the gather point somewhere else? Now finally he has done that. But there's so many idols over here, and this watchtower is being replaced now. Now some spearmen by Food Please. I mean, spearmen not the greatest unit against villagers, so they lose one-on-one against the villager. But of course, if you don't notice, then there's not much you can do. But I think at least the men-at-arms will help here. Now, what a messy game! Look at this. Both players under 30 villagers and just above 30 population it's already 20 minutes real time that has passed. Both still in feudal age, nowhere near castle age. So what a game in this series. I mean, Gummibaer has to win this one if he wants to stay in the best of 7, because the score right now is 3-2. And it's Food Please's chance to win the whole series. And so many weak villagers over here, but Food Please will lose more villagers. And yeah, that's that. And look at this. And now Food Please has managed to wall Gummibaer in again. That's amazing. How is he able to always do that? He's really committed on walling. And look at how weak those villagers and men-at-arms are. It's incredible. And Food Please down again to 24 villagers with 8 idols. And Gummibaer as well, 28 villagers, 13 idols. This is such a messy disaster of a game. On water, again, nothing happening. Not even a single fire galley. Which would be enough to take out the enemy fishing ships. Now finally battering through here, or maybe Food Please deleted something, and he might be able to take that, but he won't be able to take out these towers because all of his villagers are weak. There's enemy military, and yeah, he's trying to get the stone, I think, but I mean, he could have just done that over here with these idols. I mean, there's stone over here. And Food Please, I'm sure Food Please does not know about these villagers, and they could just be the source of stone that Gummibaer needs, because this stone is just too far forward. There's already 2 towers here, and yeah, Gummibaer losing all of these villagers. I mean, there's only spearmen, but if you have enough spearmen, you can take out enemy villagers as well. And this disaster woodline. Yeah, not even a farmer underneath the TC of Gummibaer. And now it's 21 against 22 villagers. I mean, Gummibaer had the villager lead throughout the whole game. And for the first time, I think, no, yeah, he might lose the villager lead. It's 21 against 21 villagers. And I think that's these fishing ships is what keeps Gummibaer in the game here. What a disaster, what a mess. This villager will get picked off, this villager gets picked off. This one might get picked off. Yes, I think it will get picked off. And now Gummibaer actually falling behind in villagers. It's 19 or 20 against 22 villagers in this game. And again, we can get all the action on one screen over here because both of them dropped their TC very close to each other, which obviously supports this aggressive style of play. And now Food Please has broken the back of Gummibaer. I think now being able to run into the base, attack this tower. There are no villagers, or maybe one villager inside of the TC. And yeah, there's one villager, but that means that this town center takes ages to kill these spearmen. I mean, they're just spearmen, but it's it's better than nothing at this point. But finally some villagers in the TC which will be able to shoot down this tower. This tower of Gummibaer now able to shoot down the tower of Food Please with some villagers battering at the foundation. No, this tower shoots the villagers of Gummibaer. This green villager will get picked off, I think. Yeah, it's still in range, and the tower still stands. And now this tower has to be repaired, but yes, he is repairing the tower, but he does not have any access to stone at this point. Now let's look at these villagers. Now they finally finished the berries over here, which they could have done earlier. They could still get the pigs. I mean, they could also go for the gold. It doesn't know that Food Please is there, and yeah, he doesn't know about this stone, so he could easily go here and place a mining camp there. I mean, so let's look at the village accounts. Both players have recovered slightly. It's 25 to 26 villages now in the favor of Food Please. And now Food Please does have a big score lead, and that's just because he has killed a lot of enemy villagers. He has put down a lot of towers. But now let's look at this. I totally missed this. The barracks of Food Please getting walled in by Gummibaer. How did he manage to do that? I don't know. But I think there are some red palisades in there, so I think you can delete those and then still create some military units. But I just don't think he has the resources for that. If you look at the point of view of Food Please, yeah, he has barely any resources, and I think both players at some point they need to think about going to Castle Age maybe. Still on water, nothing much happening. I mean, again, a single fire galley, and then you're undercutting your opponent or your opponent's food supply, because otherwise Gummibaer would not, for instance, would not be able to create any villages, because yeah, okay, he has a pig here, but that's basically all of his food income except for the fishing ships. Now Gummibaer needs to think about a way how to escape this trap of towers. He needs to make something happen. I mean, I think it's already too late because he allowed these towers to go up here, and this one as well. But yeah, he needs to make something happen. He needs to escape, and he needs to, for instance, with this man-at-arms and a few villagers, he might be able to at least kill those two villagers. So that's something that he should think about. And yeah, finally getting a lumber camp outside of his walls, which is safe from the towers, and he could also think about getting the stone over here. Yeah, he might even think about just deleting his TC and rebuilding it somewhere else at this point. I mean, he has practiced the douche a lot, so he should be familiar with that kind of strategy. Yeah, so kind of a low point in the action at this point. Both players trying to rebuild, trying to regain a little bit of economy, and preparing for the next stage of this war. I'm kind of surprised by Food Please that he does not push in further. I mean, he could, yeah, start a next attempt at pushing in at this point, but he does not choose to do so. You have to remember that Food Police also has fletching, so he could outrange this tower over here if he counts the tiles correctly. But I think both players are so focused that they're not able to do that. And again, getting walled in by a single weak villager over here. So many weak villagers of Food Police. You just have to chase them and kill them. And there's another one over here, which Gummibaer needs to kill. They're like cockroaches, these red villagers. You just have to eradicate them wherever you see them. And now, look at this disaster. Look at this. Why does the man-at-arms attack the palisade and not the villager? And this means that this villager again will escape. Very likely that it will escape, because this villager would just get shot down, and the villager survives. What a disaster. And I mean, it doesn't matter if the villager is at 1 HP or 6 HP or 40 HP, it's just as effective, and that's what we see here, walling in this man-at-arms. What a disaster. Now he's trying to break out again, but he's not able to do so because there's already walls behind it. Maybe we'll be able to break out here. I mean, at this point I think he should just accept that he's being walled in and try to go for a Castle Age. And that's exactly what Food Police is doing at the moment. He has a much healthier economy, has some farmlands over here, still taking some ibex, still having fishing ships, and also has redocked over here. So yeah, he's able to just go up to Castle Age. At the same time, Gummibaer having a lot of gold. So at this point, you definitely need a market. He just needs to drop the market, buy himself up to Castle Age. At this point, he will lose a villager here. That's bad. But look at the villager difference. It's 37 against 29. So it's always this dichotomy in these kind of games. Oh, this villager did get picked off. Gummibaer always ahead in terms of villagers, in terms of economy, and Food Police always ahead in terms of aggression. And look at this! Finally being able to pick off this annoying walling villager. And I don't think he should commit more villagers to breaking out. I think that's already enough. I mean, he's occupying his opponent. These villagers are already trapped. Maybe you should just even try to better down these two palisades, drop a mining camp and just mine the stone mine, or mine the stone, and just ignore that these villagers are walled in. And with these two villagers, he could just go out and try to get some resources. I mean, I think this patch of wood is fine to get chopped. Especially because the tower likes to prioritize attacking houses. And now this is the GG move. That castle dropped by Food Police, but it's very close to the GC. I'm not sure if this is a great move. I mean, he will lose a lot of villagers, and remember, he does not have too many of those left. Already losing 3, 4, 5. Yeah. I'm not sure. I mean, yeah, he probably... Oh, I'm not sure if he will get it up even. It's too ballsy. I mean, why not place it a little bit further back? Now Gummibaer needs to micro to attack these villagers. Getting another one. I think the castle will go up. Yes, it will go up. Finally, but at what cost? I mean, this villager will get picked. And remember, there's no murder hole, so... Gummibaer, in the end, can just batter it down. That's exactly what he's doing. And yes, Food Police might be able to produce a few Tarkans, maybe? But at the moment, he's not producing anything. Now he's dropping a watchtower to range these villagers so they can't destroy the castle. What a messy move, and what a messy game. Look at the population of Food Police. It's 21 population! Total population, and I think Gummibaer should have this game. I mean, he can just abandon this position, place a new TC somewhere else, over here, just ignore all of those towers, the castle, everything, and just, yeah, go from there. And now Gummibaer also almost in Castle Age. I mean, he should wait for that. He doesn't have to delete this TC then. He can just build a new TC over here. Instead of the mining camp, I think. It would be better to just place the TC. He almost has, or he does have the resources. Oh no, he doesn't have the stone. But again, the market would have been a great move here because he could have just bought some stone and get another TC up. And then all of this does nothing. And look at the economy of Food Please, it's 22 with 23 villages. That's nothing. That takes ages to recover from that. So yeah, and now Gummibaer needs to make sure that he can escape over here. And if Food Please is a little bit weary of that, but he does not have any villagers to re-wall, so I think that's fine. So these 14 villagers can just escape, and then it's I think it could be Gummibaer's game to win. I mean, he does have a lot more villagers now. He has some scouts in the base of Food Please. Food Please not really reacting, killing a villager, killing another villager. And now that drops Food Please down to 24 villages against the 36. I still would love to see one fire galley as always, and these villagers or these fishing ships should be retasked to get some more fish. But overall, very nicely done from Gummibaer. But now these spearmen did find the new location of Gummibaer, and there were some weak villagers over here. One already getting picked off. I think this one will get picked off, and oh, that's very lucky of Food Please that he found these 3 weak villagers, and he will pick off 3 villagers with spearmen. How can you let that happen, Gummibaer? And now all of these idols. Still a sizable villager advantage, but you have to retask these villagers, build a new TC, which he's doing over here, and the Tarkans are out, and the Tarkans are picking off the villagers. Now Tarkans, not the strongest unit in terms of killing villagers, but they have very high pierce armor, so they're very good at withstanding arrow fire, which is actually helpful underneath town centers. Oh, now this is a dicey moment for Gummibaer. He might lose even more villages over here, and that means that the advantage he had in terms of villages is gone. But now Gummibaer having a camel and a knight, and they should be good against these Tarkans. Tarkans not very good against camels, and also not very good against knights. Due to the low attack that they have. Now retasking the fishing ships, that's very nice of Gummibaer. Still no fire galley. I mean, again, singular fire galley would be enough already. Okay, so Gummibaer has rebuilt, does have a new TC, but now look at this mass of Tarkans that Food Please has, and I think Gummibaer needs 2 more camels or 3 more camels to be really safe over here, and there are still some villages over here, so he might try to break through, and maybe in 10 minutes time he will be able to have 2 more villages. Now the Tarkans are in. Gummibaer needs to garrison. Still having a lot of weak villagers. Oh, 1 villager will get picked, maybe a second one will get picked, but the camels are here, and the camels again, they're very strong against the Tarkans. But of course you cannot outchase them unless you already researched husbandry, but I don't think that the players have done so, because both of them are starved for resources. I mean, yeah, with so few villagers, it's very difficult to afford anything. I mean, I'm amazed that Food Please was able to get these Tarkans out. But that means he already committed a lot of resources into them. So I think a few camels and knights would actually be good, or maybe even some spearmen would be good against Tarkans, because yeah, they only have an attack of 8, so I think that even spearmen are quite reasonable against them. But now, still look at the score. Food Please having a decisive score lead, and I think that's again partly due to the scouting, I think, because, well, it's a little bit more for Food Please, but not that much more, but partly also due to all of the buildings he has. He has a castle, and he has destroyed a lot of the buildings of his opponent, and also villages of his opponent. But it doesn't mean that Gummibaer does not have a chance. Quite the opposite. Gummibaer still having a villager lead, but he needs to be careful. There's a fight coming up and he needs to have a tight control over these camels. Oh, food please, just running in. That's a good moment for Gummibaer. But what are the units doing? What kind of pathing is this? No Tarkin getting taken out and a lot of damage on these camels. I mean, what happened there? And now Gummibaer could just chase the Tarkans. I mean, I think 5 camels should be enough to take these Tarkans. Or at least decimate them. Okay, now finally Gummibaer doing what I proposed earlier with the stone mining, so I like this move very much. I don't think that Food Please will ever notice this or will ever take any action against this, so it's basically free stone that he's getting. Now Gummibaer needs to join up his forces, he needs to put his camels up there. Oh, town center, but it's their Tarkans see this, and now a lot of pathing problems over here. I think the camels, they're not really attacking. Now they're attacking finally. Oh, now very nice hits. A lot of nice hits on the Tarkans. Gummibaer just needs to be careful because there's some spearmen. Oh, but the spearmen are not really attacking. Now getting taken out. One spearman is getting taken out. Tarkans against the camels. I think the camels should win unless the spearmen get engaged and the spearmen get in there. Oh, Gummibaer should retreat. Should retreat to his second TC, which he just built over here. He should just garrison, and now he can put a lot of shots on them. Now he can just take out these spearmen. That would be very nice. Yes, and indeed that's what he's doing. Destroying the spearmen or taking a lot of HP from these spearmen. Now what else is happening at the same time? I totally missed that there are still 2 men-at-arms back in the base of Food Please over here. Maybe they'll break through someday and then there'll be a surprise men-at-arms raid late in the game after 40 minutes. Still, and now, oh, Gummibaer dropping a castle over here. I don't like this move too much, to be honest. Yeah, it's nice and defensive, but it doesn't accomplish too much, I think, because Food Please could just run in over here still. There's this there's this exposed wood line. So I think he could have either dropped it further forward to regain his map control, maybe drop it over here, then he can also shoot down these towers. And that would also pressure Food Please's castle maybe, or at least his position over here. So I think it's a little bit too defensive at this position, or maybe put it over here. That way you can secure this gold and the stone. Yeah, but oh, he needs to be careful because there's some full HP spearmen over here, and oh, just some free hits on the camels by Gummibaer over here. And yeah, it's really hard to call at this point. Now the spearmen are taken out by this mixture of castle fire and camels. Let's look at the economy. It's pretty close. It's 45 to 43, and interestingly, Gummibaer having 2 TCs against only a single TC by Food Please. So I'm kind of surprised that it's still this close. I think that, yeah, and then the gap is even narrowing. I think that Gummibaer should just boom ahead at this point with double the amount of production in terms of villagers. But yeah, it doesn't appear to be the case. Now Gummibaer also getting housed again. Food Please of course does not have this problem, as he is the Huns, of course. Now getting some armor upgrades on his Tarkans, getting more spearmen. Probably cannot afford pikemen at this point in time. Does have a market, so he could basically buy a few resources, whatever he needs. Now Gummibaer going for Camel Archers. Camel Archers is a very strong unit, but you need to mass them, and yeah, and I think that Gummibaer at this point not really in the position to really mass Camel Archers, but I think in the long run they are a very strong unit, and should be very good against whatever Food Police is doing. Now this one villager are getting shot down, prioritizing the wrong tile of this stone mine, so only a single stone miner left over here. Food Police just finishing the pikeman upgrade, so he's going heavily into pikeman, which is of course very good against the camels that Food Police has over here, but the camels are just getting shot down by the towers. I think they're not accomplishing too much. Losing the only having 2 camels and a knight left over here. Yeah, I'm not sure what he's trying to do. I mean, he could delete his palisade and run in, maybe get a few pickoffs. But other than that, I don't know what he's trying to accomplish here, except for denying this one farm over here. Okay, maybe able to get another villager pick off. No, yeah, maybe, yes. No, yeah. Now he sees it, now he can kill another villager. And now finally the second TC of Gummibaer is kicking in. It's 56 against 48 villagers at this point in time. And yeah, but Food Police is ready to drop another castle, whereas Gummibaer not quite there yet. I think this villager needs a little bit more time to drop off the extra stone. But he's also getting a lot of stone over here, placing some defensive stone walls. I don't like this. I mean, they're very far back. I think he should secure more of the base over here, maybe. And yeah, I don't think it accomplishes too much. I think another castle would be nice. Maybe also further forward, as we've discussed. But first of all, he has to weather the storm over here. But he has a lot of camel archers, to be honest. He has 8 camel archers. And they're very strong against the pikemen, but he needs to micro them. So he needs to pull them back, and let the castle do its job. And then he can take out the rams easily. But first he has to clear out all of these pikemen. Oh, yeah, the camel archers doing their job. Yeah. Actually, Gummibaer should be able to handle this. I mean, he has to pull a few villagers, but that's totally fine if he's able to stop this push by Food Police. And yeah, it looks like he will be able to do that. Another ram getting destroyed. This ram will get destroyed. There's only 1 ram left, and a single ram takes quite a long time to kill a castle, especially in Castle Age. And yeah, another ram trickling in, but again, there's still a lot of camel archers left, so they are good against the pikemen. They can just take the pikemen out. Gummibaer also repairing the castle, and now the attack of Food Police has been repelled. Gummibaer in the score lead. Gummibaer having more villagers. 10 more villagers to be exact. He has enough stone to drop another castle. He should not over repair this castle. Maybe he should just instead drop another castle. Maybe over here, or maybe over here, or maybe even going down and securing this gold or this stone. Securing some resources would be nice. And then he has a good lead in this game. But the problem with his mindset right now is that he's very defensive. He has placed all of these walls, cornering himself. Yeah, and yeah, doesn't have enough space, so cannot expand too much. Now he has to go out here to build some houses, and at the same time he could take his camel archers and just raid a little bit. And yeah, maybe could have caught those villagers who are trying to place a town center out there. That's now the second town center of Food Police, so he's been on 1 town center the whole time. And that also explains the sizable villager lead and also population lead that Gummibaer has. Now finally going out with his camel archers, but he should go further and not waste HP on these towers. Towers are just a bait at this point. Now that's a little bit maybe too aggressive, because there's also some scorpions out there and so many pikemen, and of course prioritizing the palisades instead of the pikemen are the camel archers, and there were a lot of free hits, a lot of camel archers just destroyed over there due to the unit pathing. And yeah, a lot of idols by Gummibaer, and I mean, he should have this game. He has a sizable population advantage, but he needs to think about what to go for. And yeah, he's trying to go for infantry now. I'm not so sure if I agree with this, because he already has put a lot of upgrades into his cavalry. Yes, there are pikemen out there, but if microed correctly, the camel archers are just better than the pikemen. They could just hit and run, or maybe could even go for a little bit of siege himself. And other than that, he does have enough stone. He could place castles, maybe castle over here, shoot down these towers, just regain the map control while you are ahead, Gummibaer. But of course, I can understand what he's thinking. He's thinking, okay, long swordsmen do counter the spearmen or the pikemen. However, Food Police has already shown that he has scorpions, and the scorpions are very strong against long swordsmen. So the counter to the long swordsman is already out. And the Tarkans probably not too bad against long swordsmen themselves. Now finally placing a tower, but I don't like the position because it's downhill. He should have placed it uphill. And he should have scouted if there's anything for defending this position from Gummibaer. And indeed, there's a huge army from Gummibaer. So I think that's a doubt castle if I've ever seen one. And there's already a ram over here, so there's no chance that Gummibaer will get this castle up. And he just has to delete it. I mean, losing all of the stone hurts, but yeah, he should delete it. But I don't think he did. I think it was just destroyed, so he lost whatever stone he could have gotten back from that foundation, and now Food Police being able to place a castle of himself or of his own on this position. And Food Police also having a lot of military, having 41 military units against only 18 military units of Gummibaer, and I think that's very bad. Okay, look at this. Look at this army walking slowly, because it has been grouped together. Now the castle is up, and I think Gummibaer, instead of focusing on Castle Age, he should have gone up to Imp earlier. I mean, now he's up. But yeah, he could have been ready with trebuchets a little bit earlier. Or if he stays in Castle Age, he needs to produce more military units. I mean, he has 6 longswordsmen, 1 camel or 2 camels, a few camel archers, but yeah, that's not enough to fend off all of these masses. Especially if you consider that the Tarkans have 5 pierce armor, which is quite a lot, especially in Castle Age. So these camel archers, with only 7 attack and no upgrades, no attack upgrades, so that's a disaster. That's why they were so ineffective, because they don't have any upgrades, so they only deal 2 damage per hit. What a disaster. And look at the longswordsmen. Okay, they have 1 defense, 1 attack upgrade, but not even fletching. I mean, you should always get fletching, if even only for the castles and the town centers, because they are also affected by at least the attack of fletching and bodkin arrows. So they're also only doing only doing 1 damage per arrow onto these Tarkans. And so that's why these Tarkans are basically free to raid. They can just sit underneath the TCs for a long time. Now Gummibaer having a little bit of reprieve, except for this army that's still roaming in the back of his base. Over here there's a single camel that's not enough. And as we talked about, these camel archers not being upgraded, so they're not too great in this position. So Gummibaer must feel like, oh, the camel archers suck, but no, they lack the upgrades. I mean, yes, they have bloodlines, but that's about it. No defense upgrade, no attack upgrade, so they have very short range, they have very low attack, and they will just get eaten by these Tarkans, especially in melee combat. But now Food Police or Gummibaer is up to it. He can build a trebuchet, and with the trebuchet he will be able to at least destroy this castle over here. But overall, I think that Food Piece is in a much stronger position. Gummibaer taking some resources down here. I mean, I think he should place a TC to at least protect these villagers if Food Piece finds them at some point during this game. Otherwise, on water, not much happening over here. I mean, there's obviously an ecological catastrophe on this map. No fish left, except for a few. So maybe the players should introduce fishing quotas to maybe sustain what little fish is left on this map. And now the first trebuchet is out, and the trebuchet is able to reach the enemy castle. But the problem is that I think the Tarkans can just run through and yeah, take out this trebuchet, no problem, because yeah, they have so much pierce armor. Now Gummibaer trying to wall in the trebuchet, it seems like, has still no fletching upgrade. What is this by Gummibaer? I mean, that makes such a huge difference. Yeah, especially for these high pierce armor targets, you need as much yeah, piercing damage as possible, and it wouldn't have hurt to also mix in maybe a few pikemen. If you're going for infantry anyways, you can also mix in a few pikemen, and also this trebuchet will just get eaten. And in the meantime, Foodplease was able to go up to Imp himself and will be able to produce trebuchets from this castle and trap down the opposing castle. And look at these Tarkans, they're unopposed and now getting plate mail armor. So yeah, they're not affected by arrows anymore, to be honest. So yeah, they can just raid and raid and raid. I mean, they don't have the greatest attack, but it's surely enough to kill a few villagers. And I think he could even take out this town center, because the Tarkans do have bonus damage against buildings. So even 10 Tarkans could almost be enough to take out a TC. And now Gummibaer or Foodplease coming with more rams and also trebuchet, and now having all of these scorpions. So I don't like the longs or the two-handed swordsman move by Gummibaer one bit, because the counter is already out, and they're not even that strong against the Tarkans. I think the Tarkans, yeah, they're reasonable against the two-handed swordsman, and yeah, they can just stay underneath the TCs forever and ever. And yeah, no fletching upgrades. And I think it will take ages until these Tarkans are done for. I mean, they're now low HP, but yeah, they cannot be touched, and I think they can just destroy these trebuchets as well, because they're just not dying, and that's, I think, due to a lack of fletching and bodkin arrow. I mean, they now have 7 pierce resistance or pierce armor, so the castle is only doing 4 damage per arrow, and that's a really huge difference. And you can see it. I mean, the town center is shooting and shooting and shooting, but the Tarkans just not getting destroyed. And I think a few pikemen would have done the trick here instead of the two-handed swordsman. I mean, Gummibaer is sometimes getting a little bit stubborn, and now the situation has completely flipped. Foodplease at 81 villagers. In the meantime, he has also found these villagers by Gummibaer and has cleaned them up with Tarkans, it seems. And it's a disaster for Gummibaer. I think he will lose this game and the series at this point, because he did not capitalize on the advantages that he got with the villagers. I mean, he was pressured early on with all these towers, did not react optimally, but in the end he did have an advantage going into the castle age, mid to late castle age, but then he went for the wrong units, did not get the right upgrades. Probably not very familiar with Tarkans, because yeah, in AOC they just sucked, because yeah, they just did not do anything very well. But now with the extra pierce pierce armor, they're quite respectable, to be honest. And especially if you don't go for the upgrades, and that's it. That's the GG called by Gummibaer. And what a game, what a series. This best of 7 goes to Foodplease, but Gummibaer did have the chance to come back at almost every point of this game, he would have been able to come back and take this game and maybe come back and take the whole series. But it's always this the mindset, the decision making. It's just not quite there yet. But Food Please, recklessly aggressive at one point, below 20 villages due to his reckless aggression. But he was not punished for that, even though Gummibaer did have a sizable advantage even in the mid to late game. Now let's look at the statistics real quick over here. So Food Please leading basically all statistics in the end, at least. Also killing a lot more units. That was also a big contributing factor, and he also did build up a big army in the mid game. Also economy. No one did anyone collect relics? No, no one collect relics. Village accounts, surprisingly very even if you look at the villager high. And yeah, this is also reflected in the timeline. I mean, look at this. Okay, it was a back and forth, but then until the early Castle Age, Gummibaer did have a big advantage, and then even in Castle Age, I think it was maybe this point over here, he did have a villager advantage. Military-wise, it was pretty even. So at each point in this game, look at he could have did have an advantage here, advantage here, advantage here. But in the end, he was not able to capitalize, and that's what lost him the game and the series. What a game, what a series. GG to both players, and I hope we'll see another series soon between those two amazing players. I've been Peter Host, and it was my pleasure to cast this game, and see you soon.